5 at 5. It's Offer Review. Boy, we got a lot of things to talk about with Silver Samurai and Phoenix and changes to artwork. There was a post that went out late the other night, and we're going to cover it now because it answers a lot of these questions. Phoenix events tomorrow. Also, Maria should be going into the War Store on Tuesday. Here are some of the issues and topics we are tracking in relation to the release of version 5.7. This is from Cerebro. I do like the communication. I believe there's been some backlash, and that has been warranted for sure. Monthly login counter wasn't active for our time of players in certain time zones, and so they extended by 1 day. Yeah, there's some people that could not collect the first day, and they were automatically put on day 2. Occasionally, a teal gear would be missing from the gold supply store. That's right. It'd be like teal gear, gold, or like like T3 purple abilities or something garbage. They're going to fix that. Sabretooth's ultimate ability was attacking enemies with stealth buff. So all that stuff's been fixed. Will be addressed with a hawk fix. Version 5.7.1 coming soon. When Phoenix dies, do an assist on bonus attack. She isn't summoning Dark Phoenix. Now, this is kind of an interesting conversation that we're going to talk about. Somebody in chat said, do I really need Phoenix? And I said, ooh, we're going to have a split answer on that. And that was my gut feeling right when the question was asked. The answer is no, yes and no. Is Phoenix good? Sure. Is she the best? No. Is she vital? No. Is she helpful in DD3 and DD4? Absolutely. And so that being said, I'm inclined to say yes. Do you need her? Not in the absolute sense of the word need, but I do think Phoenix is actually quite amazing and helpful in DD3 and DD4. Are there ways of getting through DD3 and the DD4 Legendary without Phoenix? Technically, there is. And the thing that I've been saying is that it's amazing the number of people that have been unlocking Phoenix with Doom. Think about it. Meaning they went through DD4 without Phoenix, and then they used Doom, who's a villain mystic controller, to unlock Phoenix. People are doing it all the time. Do I really need Phoenix? Not really. It's kind of a split answer. Anyways, we're going to keep going. It's because she's bugged right now, and that's going to be fixed. In the process, there were some problems with Android crashing. I believe they removed the download all button temporarily. Some API issues. We're not going to read about that. The Experiment X event started tracking progress 5 minutes late. We're going to talk about that Weapon X experiment event here in a minute. New players who receive daily login calendars, they're going to fix that. Clarifications. The leaderboard relative Experiment X event is being removed. It is not associated with any rewards. I made a video about that, but I pulled it down. I may make another video about that later. I believe there's more issues than that. And I also am following a particular person that was on that leaderboard that seemed highly suspicious, and I want to see how that plays out. The store for Elementary Particle is still active, was intended to deliver some compensation for the credits very soon. And then Silver Samurai is temporarily hidden in the roster, expected to appear next week after some art updates to the character model. So if you've been we've been seeing him on the loading splash screen, and he has, and I'm not familiar with the name of the mask, but it looks like there is a no logo on his chest. A lot of people said, did they get rid of the red sword? This looks like it's still red right here. Maybe he has 2 swords, 1 silver, 1 red. But the main thing is no mask. And I got to give big shout out to Scout Poob, who spent 10 million boomer bucks fixing Silver Samurai mask. He wanted to be COVID compliant. I'm not really sure if this is a mask product that we're selling here, or if it's a thong, or if it's an eye patch. Looks like it is multi-purpose. We're all about reaching everybody to the optimum efficiency. I think we've got 3 happy customers already. Kestrel's been happy. She's used it 2 different ways. Fury's used it as an eye patch, and Silver Samurai is now using it as a COVID mask. Fantastic. So the question is when? Well, I don't know. Soon, hopefully. They did update the artwork on the Twitter and Facebook. Usually that's within 24 hours. Maybe we'll get them tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to happen. We will see. Also, wanted to talk about this right here. Am I the only one not offended by the Emma costume release? And I wanted to say I agree with the top half of this post. Please make the attraction of the Premium Strike Pass cosmetic not something that is going to punch my dick in when we PvP. The stuff they sell provides no in-game benefits. We all win. And I'm in that camp right there. I do think like the Wolverine thing, like I was a little bit, I know a lot of people were very upset. And I think if they have valid reason to be upset with the Wolverine costume being atrociously expensive to acquire through the particle event or whatever it's called, where there was that Kraken core event, right? But for me, I was like, it's a costume. I don't know. Like, same thing with this. It's a costume. I don't even know if me personally, am not a fan of the Karen hairdo. This part of the post, I completely disagree. Imagine how fun this could be if they hit their revenue targets with cosmetics. I believe that would never happen with them. I believe they would, even if they did meet their target revenue with cosmetics, that would just be more money in the bank for them. And that's all I'll say about that. I think that would be just more excessive products, and they would not change anything. But and also we talked about this in chat, and we found the post. Someone says, how long before they start including stats on costumes? They were pretty explicit when they released costumes that they had no initial plans to have any perks associated, in-game mechanics or perks or stats. And then they put comma, but we could change our mind, but we have no plans at this time to make costumes do anything in games. I know some games like Marvel Future Fight always had like the costumes add stats or have different bonuses, or like, maybe like costumes add tags. Like what if the Daredevil tag to have the Shadowlands was associated to the costume, or the Deadpool X-Force tag was associated to having the costume. They said they weren't going to do that. So we'll just leave it at that. Interesting though. And then lastly, can someone explain blitz rotations for me? And this has been a question that I've had a bunch of times in chat. I've been playing this game for a bit, don't have a strong understanding what a blitz rotation is. And I know this is a word that I use quite a bit on this channel, and then I see it in the comment section, but I think this is the best answer I've seen. Big shout out to Never Maxine. Characters can blitz once every 2 hours. You get more points at higher blitz tiers. You need to win blitzes in a row to stay at higher tiers. Now, this is right here. They answer the question. A rotation is a cycle through all of your saved blitz squads, which in-game 35 teams enable the quick blitz squad select option in the advanced settings to make this easier. So when I say you have to do 5 rotations, what that means is that I need to log in right now, and I need to go through all 35 of my teams, scroll through them, do all my blitz battles. Takes 5 minutes or so, and then I need to come back in 2 hours and do it again, and then come back in 2 hours and do it again. And each one of those rotations are called rotations, right? The trick is to make as many teams as you can from your roster while maximizing the numbers of wins you can get. Maybe a team of 5 good characters better split into 2, paired with some level 1 registered trash. That way you get 2 wins instead of 1. And yeah, Valley and I make a video titled Roster Review, where we go through our blitz save squads, and we put up, he looks at mine, I look at his. Actually, I think Valley's got the better blitz save squad roster at this time, based on our last review that we just did a couple weeks ago. Anyways, let's get over to offer review. And yeah, we're going to start off with Wolverine. This is the pink bits, the pink face bits. Spy it 8 times. I have no interest in this. This is for the VR visor, Wolverine. But you keep in mind what pushes this to extreme value, and that's sarcasm. Boy, I always have to spell out my sarcasm. Is the 20 Wolverine shards. Yeah, I don't get this. I'm never going to buy this. I'm not going to even consider it. But if you're into costumes and this is a thing for you, go for it. It's just not a lot of interest to me. Secret Agent Avenger offer. Okay, so we have no word on how she's going to be made farmable in advance of the Mega Red event. And a lot of people ask. The only one that we know currently is for Maria Hill, which should be available on Tuesday in the War Store. Your guess is good as mine on where she's going to end up, or Captain America Sam Wilson. That being said, Winter Soldier, Secret Avengers, and Nick Fury are the unlock requirements for Omega Red, and it is tiered similar to that of Adam Warlock, where not only did you need all 5 members at 5 stars, but there was also a gear and ISO requirement, and all of that accelerated up from 5 to 6 to 7 stars, and it got more and more steep. We're at the max level at 7-star Omega Red. Not only required all 7 stars on those 5 characters I just mentioned, but they all had to be a gear tier 14, and I believe at blue ISO, or at least green ISO 5, right? So it's the same as the Adam Warlock event. They're calling it a mythic legendary. Let's move on. Same exact story. If you're looking for Maria Hill, there you go. She will be available in the War Store as per last week's blog post on Tuesday. Do what you got to do. In my opinion, without actually playing a Mega Red, but just by reading the kits and looking at the gameplay, they look like the Omega Red looks very, very legendary. He looks to be like important. For sure, being a hard counter to Heroes for Hire and War, and to be an amazing war character for sure, but his trauma mechanic is highly interesting to me, and I'm hoping that you'll see even gameplay in raids based on his kit. It looks like it's a possibility. I'm not really sure. And then also I'm hoping that he will be potentially viable in some sort of what we call meta soup or legendary soup team inside of Arena. We will see. But Omega Red, to me, I'm optimistic that he is a proper legendary that is coming out. Let's move on. Upgrade to premium. Okay, so this is for the RTA Battle Pass. The new Battle Pass will be starting on Friday, and that will feature Emma and the Emma costume in the premium track. This is for wrapping up. This right here is for wrapping up this current season of RTA. 1 week less. If you've already bought the premium pass, you can spend $20 more if you want to not play the last week, or if you missed a couple days, if you want to get out the rewards. Basically, you can pay $20 to not play RTA. That's what a lot of people do that for. But anyways, Premium Orb Pack. This is a trash offer. We've got right here 11 Premium Orbs. I value those at $1 a piece. And then we've got 3 Arena Orbs, which I don't have high value on that, but these are the ones that have like a 10% drop rate on Phyla. Not a huge fan of these orbs. I can't say that they're worth $1, let alone a piece, let alone worth $10. This is a trash offer. Let's move on. Legacy 2. So these are year 2 characters. I value these orbs at 33 cents a piece. There is a small amount of gold and purple gear. If you need bulk character shards, or if you take a look at the contents of this orb and they are character shards that you're interested, go for it. But this has little to no value to a veteran player. Most of us, the veteran players, have these characters all maxed out, and they're not super effective. ISO 8 energy offer. 2 things I'll say right now. Spending this currency here will advance your account to level 85, and also it'll help you on that Teal Gear Kraken event as well. So typically, it's doing triple effectiveness right now. Not only does it allow you to get green ISOs and green ions, but also it's towards the event, and it also helps your account get to level 85. I'm not going to be purchasing that, but if that is something you are pursuing, this is a way of doing that. Trash. I just think that this is a way better way of going about if you're looking for green ISO than considering these offers and these orbs right here. I think they're garbage. Gear tier 15 draft. Super expensive, pricey way of acquiring random gear. I believe War Store is a better way of acquiring this gear, or just in the gold supply store. They did change, but still, this is like $1.50 a piece, and they're random. So this is kind of a remnant from DD4, and I fully expect us to get Teal Gear offers, similar atrocious pricing. In fact, we've seen a couple of them last week. Mega Orb Sale. This is anchor pricing. At best, I value this at $5. Pretty much garbage. 1, 2, 3 trash. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3 trash. $5 tops for this. This is anchor pricing. No, I do not recommend that at all. Orb Draft. This is a reasonable offer. I used to buy this, and I may start buying this again. Someone brought this up in chat, and I want to agree with them about the training materials. But anyways, Red Star Orb I value $1.50. Premium Orb I value at $1. Training Orb I value at $1.50. 14 basic orbs I value at 90 cents. I want to talk about the training orb though. I am starting to have problems with training materials and gold, and that's mostly because of the level cap increase. But it's a real deal. I do think that training materials are more available than they were 6 months ago, largely due to the Skill Military monthly training material event. However, it is still a severe bottleneck for a lot of people. I'm personally struggling more with gold than training materials. And right now I'm comfortable with leaving my pricing on training orbs at $1.50, but I may start raising that back up to $2 if it continues this way. We'll have to see. That's on the, we're keeping that in mind. Anyways, this is fine. I've bought this many times, but right now I just don't really need any of these items. I'm pretty good. I might start picking this up again if I run into a training material shortage. I might resume purchasing this when I see this offer. Usually pops up about 4 times a month. Okay, let's move on. Limited time sale. This is garbage. At best, we value these orbs at $2 a piece. That's $8 plus maybe another $2 for that. At best, this is worth $10. Not even close to worth $20. Let's move on. Pack of Shame, boy. I had to buy this last week, or I've been really struggling. But if you've been blitzing a lot, we just finished up a Luminous Orb blitz for Cloak and Dagger, and hopefully you blitzed your mind out. And there was a bunch of blitz currency. You don't never have to buy this. Anyways, let's move on. Power Core deal. Again, I've never bought this, but this always seemed reasonable enough for me. I'd be more excited about this offer if there was 225 cores, because that is pretty much what $3 equates to in cores, and then you'd be getting the training materials for free. So if you need cores and training materials, this is a reasonable enough offer. Trash. Not even, this is maybe $5 worth of gold at best, maybe, but not worth $10. And the rest of this is not good. Let's scroll down to the bottom. Sometimes we've been having these power core deals in here. All right, daily orb bundle. And here's the deal. At best, I value that at $1.50, and then I value the premium orb at $1. So there's $3 value there, where $4.25 in cores is about $6 worth of cores. So I don't see the value there. Armory, 14 orbs. I don't know what to value these at. Probably 50 cents a piece. Maybe that's $2. Again, it's not worth $6. Same thing on the 15s. Now, this right here, this is for purple gear. I personally have an abundance of this, so I don't see any value. I have over 2 million of this. But if you're looking for purple gear, I guess this is fine, but it's still pretty pricey. And then right here, we've got the most outrageous offer I've seen in a long time. 5 single teal basic catalysts. We're going to call this TBCs, teal basic catalysts, even though they're called augmented basic catalysts, but we already have ABCs. ABCs is the purple one, advanced basic catalyst. So we're just going to call this the TBCs, the teal basic catalyst, so we know what they're talking about. Boy, horrific Kraken level pricing. This is exclusively for people trying to get into Dark Dimension 5 first and finish first and get their name somewhere engraved in the game on a billboard or on a ship or something like that. Let's move on. Resource offer. Okay, somebody said that this was a good deal for them. I'm not really sure. I'll take your word for it. But for me, what I was basing this is that back during the Shang-Chi medallion event, we had an offer for $5, which is $5 is about 300 crystals, cores, whatever we want to call them, 300 cores. And that offer right there, most people got at least 10,000 with that $5. Some people got higher than 10,000. So to me, there's not a high degree of value there for this offer. $5 for basically, well, that'll get you like 5 character shards. Oof, that just seems pricey. Do what you got to do. I don't think this is an extreme value, but someone tried to make a case that it was, and I still don't see it. But maybe it is. It just doesn't look like it's that great of a deal compared to the Shang-Chi medallion, which was $5. All right, the rest of this is trash. Let's toggle over to the free-to-play account, which is still loading up. We're going to have to collect my daily rewards, and then we'll go over to the offer section and take a look and see if there's anything unique on this account. Sometimes we have unique offers. I imagine there's probably some offers here related to the Phoenix event, which should be tomorrow. And we're going to scroll past all the offers that we've already looked at. There we go. Spiteful Sorcerer offer. Yes. So again, this is an offer tied for Phoenix event. So Villain Mystic Controllers, 6-star unlock. So you need 5 Villain Mystic Controllers at 6 stars to unlock Phoenix. Spiteful Sorcerer offer. This is Mordo. Relatively easy to get, but if this helps you get Phoenix, I suppose it's worth it. As far as importance of characters and upgrading, you know, and never mind Doom, that's another story, but I think Phoenix, Hela's the most important, followed up by Loki, then Mordo, then Ronan, then Nobu, then Hand Assassin. All right, let's move on. Nobu's trash. Again, if this helps you get Phoenix, I get it, but he's relatively easy to get. And my goodness, I have little to no use for this character at all, other than there's a relic event which requires hand, and then also Nobu does unlock Phoenix. But as far as playing him, you know, outside of those circumstances, like in war, no, this guy's trash. He's the worst. And I'm not a fan of Nobu. Anyways, it is what it is. He's kind of become the mascot here on my channel as far as Nobu. Anyways, do what you got to do, but he's relatively easy to get. And again, if this helps you get Phoenix, I get it. The Towering Teen offer, boy. This is also not a good character, not a good price. The attraction to Pimtech is that they are required to unlock Jubilee, and then of course Jubilee is then used to unlock Adam Warlock. But other than Ghost, I think the Pimtech team is garbage, and this is not a good deal. 50 character shards for $30 is bad. And there you go, Yellowjacket. I know there's some Yellowjacket lovers out there, but I'm not a fan of Yellowjacket myself. Same suggestion there. Again, I think Ghost is the real winner. Okay, Azure Animal Offer, Beast. I have fully upgraded my Beast. I have fully upgraded my entire Astonishing X-Men, mostly because I'm playing in Doom 2, difficulty 1, and we're going to be moving to difficulty 2. So yeah, as far as the mutant lanes, the 5 of them are by far the most helpful at this time. I've fully upgraded them. I've definitely dumped a lot of resources into my Astonishing X-Men, all of them. I think I took them over 740,000. I mean, I've really upgraded them. Some of those, it seems to be some of the harder nodes in that Doom campaign so far. I'm finding is to be mutant and tech. Good news is that I'm finding Mystic to be pretty easy, skill to be pretty easy, and thank God bio with symbiote seems to be pretty easy. For me personally, I've been struggling in mutant and tech, and so if you need Beast for Doom, I get it. But again, it's pricey. Same story right there, pricey. This is the Dark Sorcerer's Orb. So this is an offer to help people unlock Phoenix. Not shown on this artwork, but also comes in this orb is Hela. As far as gearing them and getting ready for the event, my suggestion is to work on Hela first, then Loki, then Mordo, then Ronan, lastly Nobu, and then very lastly Hand Assassin is probably one of the worst characters in the game. Of course, I mentioned earlier in the video that Doom is technically a villain mystic controller, and he could be used alongside of this. Problem I have with this orb is that you could spend $20 and get 30 Hand Assassin character shards, which would be terrible. It really would be. Not the preferred way of unlocking Phoenix. And then again, earlier in the video, we talked about, do you really need Phoenix? Well, according to my super scientific, and that is sarcasm, by the way, super scientific Twitch poll, the Twitch chat said no. 52% of the people on Twitch chat said no versus 48% yes. So there you go. All right, let's move on. But congratulations to anybody that's unlocking Phoenix tomorrow. Hopefully she's not bugged by the first time you get to play her. She's been bugged, and they said they're going to have to fix that. All right, let's scroll through all of this. I believe we're going to wrap up offer review there, and we don't have anything else to talk about. All of these offers I reviewed on my main account, and we'll do it there. All right. Are you getting Phoenix? Are you excited about Phoenix? Do you think that you need Phoenix? Love to hear your thoughts. Put it down in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Twitch people. Twitch people.